Kean Project Solutions, a modern engineering and construction firm, embracing technology, establishing industry-leading systems and processes, and delivering reliable results to our customers. At Kean, we are passionate about inspiring our team and our customers to achieve great things, offering the highest quality services as an industrial contractor to deliver turnkey projects. Our core beliefs drive us forward. Protect people, build relationships, drive innovation, and focus on end goals, bringing our customers' desired results to life. See how Kean can work for you at Think Different, ThinkKean.com.
I'm Chris Williams from Cyclone Fanatic, and a proud Iowa State graduate from the class of 2007. No one shows up like Iowa State fans.
And Cyclones support Cyclones on and off the field.
Your gift can provide scholarships to students, fund groundbreaking research. We could even drum up opportunities for the marching band. Visit MoveWhatMatters.com to learn how you can make an impact today.
He's the prime cut passer from behind the meat counter. It's Fairway Frank. And introducing a 6'3" center who's a cut above the rest. Say hello to Audie Crooks.
Welcome to the program. Rob Gray, the legend, joins me here at. So we were doing math. This is either our 8th or 9th year in March together, right?
Yep, no doubt.
Well, we're just going to pass the mic back and forth because, let's be honest, this show's way better when Rob's here. We have way more substance than when it's just me bloviating for 20 minutes. Iowa State, Cincinnati, our March sponsors this year. We couldn't do it without them. This is literally why we are on the road with our comprehensive coverage of the Cyclones. You saw beautiful little pre-rolls from Kean Project Solutions and Fairway Meat and Grocery. Shout out to Kean. That we are in Kansas City. They're opening their new Kansas City location here. And that's a really big deal to that.
My brother-in-law works at Kean.
Yeah, Rob, what's his name? Give him a shout out.
Jeff Scandrett, my man Jeff.
Shout out to our man Jeff. I met Jeff a couple weeks ago. Good dude. Also, our friends at Fairway Meat and Grocery. Central States Roofing. Hey, they reached out to me yesterday because, like, the rainy season's coming up and leaks and stuff start to happen after a tough winter. And they're commercial. They do commercial roofing. But if you're going to have anything like that, remember our friends at Central States Roofing. They do a great job. Big-time supporters of what we do here on Cyclone Fanatic. And also, let's get after it with our friends at Country Landscapes. Thanks so much to them. I've hired them like 4 times now to work on. So they extended my driveway. They've done all my landscaping in the front. I've had them come and plant some trees. And Rob's like into that stuff. Like they choose like trees that match and stuff like that.
They have some native species they throw in there, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Stuff like that I don't understand. That's why I hire Country Landscapes. So we appreciate all of them. Iowa State, Cincinnati today. 7.5 is what the line opened at. I didn't realize, I guess, and I don't want to go overboard with this because I think the term bubble this time of year is kind of like a loose term. Like, you can technically be on the bubble. What would Cincinnati have to do to actually get into the tournament? Would a win today do it? Would they have to win 3 games here? I don't know. The fact that they were on Lenardi's list today, though, tells me it's like, God, Iowa State is catching all these teams at horrible times. This has been the theme of the season, and they get another desperate team today in Cincinnati.
Yeah, and it's exactly, top 20, top 15 team, maybe preseason AP. They've gone through some stuff. They got Jizzle James. Day Thomas was big for them in Ames, and also in their blowout win over Oklahoma State. Lacushis can shoot it. They're not shooting it from 3, I think, as well as they thought they would this year. And obviously they came in on a tailspin. Yeah. Falling from the bubble into the abyss, and now they're right back on the bubble. And like you said, a desperate team. If Oklahoma State had won that game, as bad of a matchup it seems to be for whatever reason with Iowa State in the last 3-4 years, they're playing for nothing but pride. Cincinnati probably feels like if they can get at least a couple wins, I don't think today would do it, but I think
No,
if
I
they
agree.
but I think if they got a couple, they would have to feel at least fairly optimistic, and they've got the dudes to do it. I think that's why it's a 7.5-point spread. I mean, 11-point game at Hilton. Cyclones, I think it was tied with about 12 minutes to go. Cyclones separate to like 3-possession lead. They never get it below 8 in the last 5 minutes, but they're still kind of knocking on the door. This is a talented team that is going to stress the Cyclones. So it's good to have Kean Gilbert back by all accounts and practiced all the 2 days leading up, and they're going to need him. I mean, who knows? You never know what's going to happen in these things, but I expect a tough game for the Cyclones today.
Yeah, you brought up Kean Gilbert. So for those who haven't been following our coverage since we got here about a little over 24 hours ago, he has practiced the last couple of games. And to me, that's where I think today is interesting because Kean is going through whatever Keyshawn's going through. But the last time we saw him, and TJ Otzelberger confirmed this yesterday, I asked Coach, I said, was that the best defensive game Kean has ever played against BYU? And he agreed, which I didn't know if he would or not. What a challenge with Jizzle James today. And I think that, like, in my mind, you're trying to get Kean as focused as possible, specifically on the defensive end. Boy, what a great opportunity for Kean Gilbert to get back in the flow.
No question. And, I mean, look at what he did in that BYU game when they went small and they amped up the disruptiveness and, man, the turnovers forced, not just him, a lot of guys, Jefferson, all those guys mixed in. But an engaged Kean Gilbert keeps Iowa State's ceiling at Final Four level. Disengaged or out because of injury, Kean Gilbert, that ceiling's still there, but it's got some cracks, some big cracks in it. The floor is what it is. We've seen it, Oklahoma State, probably Kansas State at home. But his ability to dictate game flow is critical for Iowa State. And if he can do that today, that 7.5-point spread, if you hit Iowa State on that, you might feel really good about it because, if we get really good Kean, if he's as healed up as it seems like he might be, I doubt he's anywhere near 100%. Who is? But I think this could be a really fun run here in KC.
I think it's a good challenge too with what Jizzle James was able to do when he was at Hilton. It's a really easy line to draw and say, hey, Kean, stop him. That's a good challenge for a guy like Kean, as competitive as he is. Other note from yesterday, you brought up Oklahoma State. I had a really good conversation with Curtis Jones, and this is why I love the tournament because we really get more time with these guys one-on-one, and you can get more insight on the team. And I don't think it was probably talked about enough because Otzelberger's so much like, oh, we don't make excuses, all that stuff. He had walking pneumonia, and he kind of confirmed that he's just getting his wind back. Yeah. And I've had pneumonia. I've never had pneumonia. Yeah, I've had all that, but I'm not a Big 12 athlete trying to run up and down the floor with it, right? But I know how painful it was, and I can't imagine what he was feeling like specifically that Oklahoma State game. So to me, you go back to what happened in Manhattan, and I'm still not going to overreact too much to it because I don't know how engaged Kansas State was. They did win last night. However, that's the best sign from that game is how Curtis Jones looked, because if it's not going to be Gilbert, and we haven't seen really good Kean offense in a long time, okay? So I am not banking on that in March. I think one thing you can realistically draw up is, man, if you get that version of Curtis back, you talk about ceilings. I mean, that's what this team needs is the guy at the end of the game, who you going to go to? And after what we saw on Saturday, it's Curtis Jones.
Yeah, and we saw glimpses of it still. I mean, you have those moments where you kind of know that deep three is going in. And now he's to the point where it kind of, when you think half of the time it's going in, if it gets close to the 100%, that you think well, look at that one, that's going in. Iowa State becomes very dangerous. I think Joshua Jefferson is a huge key for this team too going forward. I mean, Yes, he's been loose with the basketball. He's become kind of like the Kean Gilbert of the front court in good and not good ways. I mean, tons of steals, facilitator, run a lot of offense through him, and a good finisher. But he can heighten his game. If he heightens his game along with Kean getting back to being able to finish at the rim rather than just get there, that ceiling's fully restored and there are no cracks.
My projection, and I guess I don't know about projection, but my hope is at least 2 games down here. I would like to see the Houston game. I think if I had to make a projection, it would be, I think Iowa State wins today and tomorrow. And I don't know what happens in that Houston game. But like that, to me, like that'd be a really good tournament to be able to get a couple here.
Yeah, and Houston at full strength. Remember last year how depleted they were when the Cyclones just beat them like a drum in the championship game. Interestingly enough, Curtis was not great at the Big 12 tournament last year, but Keyshawn, Milan in the last game, and Taman were. So, Taman is another wild card, man. The way that guy competes, that would lead me to believe that, not only do they get the win today, but also get a little bit of payback on BYU tomorrow.
Yeah, the BYU game, that one from Hilton still stings, but you got an opportunity to get it back, and feels like this. I tried to get them to be like, the redemption tour, and all. They didn't take any of that bait. But I also know the coach, and I know this group, and I know that's on their mind. So we'll see. The game is going to tip off here in about 15 minutes. We're going to go get into position to cover it for you all. We want to thank our great presenting sponsors, Central States Roofing, Fairway Meat and Grocery, Kean Project Solutions, and, of course, Country Landscapes. Iowa State and Cincinnati, he is Rob Gray. Aiden Wyatt, always producing our programs. I'll be back here immediately after the game for postgame. Win or lose, hopefully a win. We'll see you guys here in a couple of hours.